We're going to get back into some more hot topics. Now, we're learning more about the looming split between Kanye West and his wife, Kim Kardashian. Sources tell Us Weekly magazine that the couple was forced to live apart because their communication had become toxic. Kanye is reportedly still in Wyoming while Kim is in LA with the kids. Now, a source close to the stars say they had a huge fight in December and Kanye blew up at Kim and was really upset. Things they don't seem to have healed since then. Do you think it's better for them to live apart at this point? I do. I'm sick of them, actually.
Well, okay, Claudia.
You go
Break
through
up
it
or
with
stay
the
together. That's it. Break up or stay together. We've talked about that for 2 years now.
But here's the thing: it ain't for us to determine. They got a lot at stake here. They got 4 kids. You know what I'm saying? And I will say this: she has classishly stayed with him because she could have really been spewing out some real ugliness because he's been, but she has not. She's taken the high road. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And she's been, hey, we know that they know how to control PR. You know what I'm saying? And she's definitely done that. And she looks like the princess. You know what I'm saying? They made it. They didn't make it to 7 years. You know what I mean? It's a little shy of 7 years. So maybe they had a prenup or not, but maybe both of them will be protected. You know what I mean? I don't know what kind of situation this Kanye is in, but something is wrong. We know that he has a mental illness that doesn't allow them to be able to come. Because hell, if he don't take his meds, he may forget what the hell the conversation was about. You know what I mean? And then he reverts back. He has to get help. It's just unfortunate that she can't or they can't stay together enough to help walk him through that process and see what happens after that. That the divorce has to be a now thing. But I mean, to me, they could stay separate until he get himself together, if at all that's possible. Because from what I understand, that when he takes the meds, he can't work because he can't be as creative as he normally would be because it's like Ritalin. You know what I mean? It suppresses his his feelings or whatever, so he's not as creative. But then when he don't take it, then he's talking out of his head. So
church finger. That's how I feel about it. I don't believe any woman should stay in a relationship just for the sake of the children. I just don't. Because I don't believe that children should be raised in toxic households. I don't.
What I mean by that is that I said that they have a lot at stake. They are a married couple,
Yeah,
and
they got lawyers.
I'm saying, but before they get to that point, you want to definitely make sure that you've tried all you can and to be.
For how long though, Lisa Ray?
Well, we don't know that. You know what I mean? We only know how long.
In general, for a woman, for how long? Because listen,
it's different.
I believe that a lot of our mothers back in the day, like why you see them sometimes so unhappy
and so heavy,
because they stayed a lot longer than what the hell they should. Instead of going and saying, you know what, baby, this ain't working. So why don't we make sure the kids, when we're gonna find a happy middle ground for our babies. We gonna find that. You're gonna come see them. You're gonna have your time instead of arguing, bickering, and fighting. The kids have to hear screaming, this, that, and the third. I was raised in chaos. Yes. And I remember the first time that I was around a family and everyone got along like really good, because I used to think that to show love meant to fight. That is the wrong way to raise people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That you think because y'all going at it, oh, our love is deep, this and the third. No, it's not. That's toxic. Because if you love me, you won't hurt me.
I'm sure that she has her limits. You know what I mean? I'm sure that when enough is
enough.
Baby,
them limits should have been about 2 years ago.
Nobody can fall on it.
I know he's sick.
I'm just trying. Let me tell you what get on my nerve. When you had these stories and then it'd be like, sources close to the family. Who the hell are these sources? Who are these sources that's telling all of these people business where they can't never heal because the sources close to the family, and every single magazine you hear, it's always sources said, a close friend of the family said, like, who are y'all? Where's the sources at? And I want them to come forward because I'm sick of it. Because here's the thing. Now we're all in a place, and I agree with everything you said, Vivica, especially about it, and you too as well, Lisa Ray. Y'all both got some very valid points. I definitely grew up in a house where it was back and forth fighting, and then you think that's love because you see them making up, and then you think, so that is a fool. They actually should separate because you don't want your kids to see that type of foolishness. Yes. However, who are these sources?
She said, back to them.
I'm just back to these here sources because what we don't really know is what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? We don't really know because of the sources said. We can only sit here and really talk about some shit that a source had said, and from their perspective and their point of view. We don't really know what that girl is really going through with that man, and we don't even know what he's really truly doing and saying. And where's the rest of the family? Like, I understand that it's one-on-one and all of that, but does anybody have any, especially the mama, like Chris?
Well, we know they're a close family. We know that,
they close
right there navigating them.
Right. So is anybody, like, where's Chris at?
But one thing we do know is it will be played out on the show.
Yeah.
That ain't cool.
That's not
cool at all.
That's their life.
That's what they do.
You know what?
But they can choose to hide certain stuff. Like, you should have that. That's fucked up. Well, that's messed up. You should have that.
I'm gonna say this about Kim Kardashian, kind of to piggyback off what Lisa Ray said. Nobody can fault Kim Kardashian and say that she bailed too soon. If anything, she appears that she gave it her all, and if she has to walk away, according to these sources, she should not feel bad. But she gave it. It seemed like she didn't handle it in a very way classy than I would have handled it.
Okay. Girl, because I'm telling you, a shoe would have came across somewhere.
You probably
sad.
She might be sad for him because she might be watching him. Imagine being with somebody that was on the top of the world when you first started being with them. You in love, you starry, and then you watch this man deteriorate mentally and emotionally in front of your very own eyes.
And you love him.
Sad.
And you love him.
You love him for real.
That's what I mean by, as a woman,
children.
we got to be half and half old school, half millennial, because you want to be a ride or die, because it's just like my quote I said, when you're standing in times of challenge and controversy, that's when you stand tall. That's when you have that same type of commitment and love and strength that you had in the beginning of your marriage when you're faced with something. Now it's got to be, now this is the, times is calling, but when it's enough, we're going to know that too, because we'll be talking about that as well when they separate, if they do.
And I don't know if any of y'all have ever dealt with someone with mental illness, being bipolar, any of that, narcissism. It takes a toll, and nobody can combat that but the person that's dealing with it. You cannot fix that for somebody else. You can't fix them. And a lot of times women, we think we can fix everybody, and we can't. They got to fix themselves. We're going to come back with more Cocktails with Queens when we return. But after this. Welcome back to Cocktails with the Queens. Let me go ahead and show the chat some love and read some of your comments. Aaliyah says, I get OJ vibes from Kanye. Oh, wow, that's not nice. Timothy says, I hope they stay together, but it's toxic on both ends. Vincent says, they be getting a divorce every other month. And Ben says, Kim probably drove him there. We just don't know. That's what y'all had to say.
Wow.
That's from us.
Wow.
Okay.